You have been before?
Yeah, I've been to a lot of NA meetings.
When you were growing up, did you ever go or no?
Yeah, I went when I was a kid. I went when I was a teenager. I mean, I've been to a lot actually just in the past few years because now that she's like, she feels like she's really on the other side of it.
Yeah.
She does a lot with her local NA. I think she's the treasurer, the secretary of her local NA chapter. And did you ever go to meetings or anything?
Oh yeah,
okay.
I went to one.
Okay.
I went to one. I was at one last night at 8.
Okay. I mean, there's actually a really special community around it, which I really like, and it almost kind of reminds me of church, right?
100%.
Where you say these prayers and you talk about what's going on, and there's like this sense of fellowship and community that I think is really awesome, and it's like one of these things where you see just human nature and all of its good sides and its bad sides, right? Because sometimes you have people who come in
Team
and
deathmatch.
get the 24-hour medallion,
Destroy the enemy.
right? Which is like, this is the first real period of time. And sometimes you get people celebrating 15, 20, 25 years, and it's just amazing to see. But I don't know if you noticed this, but something I noticed.
We're winning. Keep it that way.
Too clear, but like 5, 6, 7 years ago,
Armed enemy.
You started noticing this, and then it really started picking up a few years ago, where you have somebody who's been 6 months or 9 months sober, and then they don't come to a couple meetings, and realize, like, when people relapsed, when Mom was in the worst of it, yeah, there was some dangerous shit out there. It wasn't nearly as deadly as the stuff that's out there. Think about the second chance I got from my mom, and I really worry that the poison that we've got on the streets now is so dangerous.
I need eyes overhead.
You have that second chance, but you fall off the wagon once. 15 years ago, it's like, oh, that sucks. I'm gonna climb back on. Today, you fall off that wagon, it might kill you.
Yeah.
And I really worry about that because I think there are a lot of good people. Like Mom. It didn't happen like once, right? It's not like she got clean and sober and that was it, right? It's a process.
Fall off a few
Hostile
times.
spotted.
Yeah, I've had relapses over the years and had to get back on, and it's tough. One of the tougher things to do is to get back on. But it's funny because I think if I don't know if I'd be sober if this stuff weren't killing people, to be honest with you. I know that's sad to say. That keeps me out of the risk of it. It just makes it
Makes it a little scarier.
Yeah, that's the thing. It makes it scarier.
Yeah.
But it's also sad that somebody. I mean, this is you can't even do cocaine in this country. And that's a crazy thing to say. And don't say that. Don't say that. I said it, but yeah, don't say that.
I'm gonna steal that line. That's gonna after the election, right?
No,
we
but
gotta win first.
It's unfortunate.
To be clear, I've never done cocaine before.
But it's I don't even know what.
I know what you mean, but it's unfortunate that, like, look,
like you said,
everybody makes mistakes.
Right.
Everybody makes mistakes, right? And like, I know, as a buddy of mine told me about this. It's been a while, but basically what happened is his daughter was like a bridesmaid at a wedding, and they were at this wedding, and the wedding got canceled because a couple of groomsmen like had terrible overdoses the night before at the bachelor party because they took something. You can judge and say, oh, they shouldn't have been taking something, but everybody takes something at some point in their lives. Like, we don't want it to kill people. We don't want it to kill people. Live and learn from stupid mistakes.
Right, you used to be able to live and learn.
Yeah. Now it becomes different. That's what's really changed about from now to my mom was struggling.
Why is it so bad? What do you know about the fentanyl crisis?
I mean, I know a fair amount about it. I've worried about it for a long time. I've worked on bills related to it. I mean, there's basically, it's like, any business, there's a manufacturer, there's a wholesaler, and then there's the retail, right? And, with fentanyl, it's not, you can't like make fentanyl in a trailer in somebody's basement. That's not enough. It takes a really complicated, pretty sophisticated pharmaceutical process. So we know a lot of it, maybe even most of it, the Chinese are making. Chinese companies, not necessarily the Chinese government, but they sure as hell know about it. And then they bring it in primarily through the southern border. And the Mexican drug cartels are like the wholesalers, right?
Requesting recon above.
Farmers that manufacture the drug cartels and bring it in wholesale style. And then it makes it in the street. And I mean, it's really crazy, man. This was in 2022. He was like, look, a few years ago, the cartels were making less than $1 million a year. And he's like, in 22, 23, we think they're making $40 million a year. So like an explosion of drug trafficking in this country. And
Bring it in,
you
recon.
hear about stories, and I don't think it happens that much. Somebody smokes a joint, it's laced with fentanyl, they go into a coma.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I have 7 friends that have up that. I have 7 friends, and not even just like estranged, but not all best friends.
Sure.
We're ahead,
But I have
but
7
stay
friends
alert. Marshall's
that
people are no
overdosed and
fools.
died from
Yeah.
me.
And it happens with harder stuff. It happens a lot. Like I think you hear about it being laced in marijuana. Like that happens. But I mean,
Crimson Axel to roast 5 million here. We're coming for you.
You have to be careful. I'm like seriously.
Stand down, Crimson. We have what we came for.
Like something
I know
like
how
that.
to do
Maybe
a
we need to
lot
have
of
like
things.
a
Losing isn't one of
head
them.
of like the DEA or something on. Maybe he would be able to, she would be able to help us figure that out.
I think it'd be a very interesting conversation. But I think we're going to go to a part towards the end of his administration. Obviously, I'm biased. I think we should get that line because he was using economic leverage to try to convince the Chinese to crack down on fentanyl manufacturing. Because if you get it at the source, right? That's, I think, really the way to address it.
Oh, there's fentanyl in half the bookshelves they make over there, dude. You put a fucking half a set of dictionaries, and that bitch will give way.
I mean, I absolutely believe that. What's in the furniture here? Are we okay?
Yeah, I think we're good. This episode is sponsored by Prize Picks, baby. Prize Picks. If you like firing on sports, like I do occasionally, then Prize Picks is the best daily fantasy sports app for you. You can sign up today at $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. NBA is finally back, and Prize Picks is celebrating with an Anthony Edwards free square. That's right, Anthony Edwards only needs 1 point to win. Add his projection of more than 0.5 points to your lineup and boost the multiplier. That's what I love about Prize Picks. It's not choosing teams, it's choosing individual players. Each player has a set projection, and you choose either more or less than that set projection. If you're smart with sports and you know what players are going to perform on what nights, in the NBA, NFL, UFC, and many more sports, then Prize Picks is the best app for you. First-time users download the Prize Picks app and use code Theo, and Prize Picks will instantly give you $50 on your first lineup of $5 or more. No strings attached. Put in $5 and instantly get a free $50. You can do it. Prize Picks. Needless to say, it's about that time. It's what we've all been waiting for, I'll say it. You can feel it. You can feel it vibrating on the cable wires.
Eliminate all
And it's
threats.
almost here. Sunday, November 10th. It's the epic return of Yellowstone. And it's only on Paramount Network. What will become of the Dutton family? Can they stay at the Yellowstone Ranch? How far will Beth and Rip go to protect the family legacy? Generations of blood have led to this.
We've taken control.
Nothing will prepare you for the must-see premiere event. Don't miss the epic return of Yellowstone on Sunday, November 10th at 8, 7
This shit ain't
Central
working.
on
We've
Paramount
lost the advantage.
Network. That's right, Paramount Network. Sunday, November 10th, Yellowstone.
Nice. We're pulling
because they're more relaxed, and they're Tommy Johns. That's what they are. They're more a lot of kind of nighttime men's undergarments or whatever, underpants. They're too tight.
Hostile confirmed.
They tight me. They scrunch me and they push me and they hold me too much. That's why I like Tommy Johns. It's more comfortable. It doesn't have that tight waistband that makes it so I just gotta go and do pee-peeing all night. Tommy John, it's...
We got the lead. Now hold it.
You'll like it. It's great for travel, summer vacation. Silky, soft, cool, breathable. I would go to say they may be the most comfortable underwear I've ever worn. You can shop Tommy John right now for huge summer savings. Get 25% off your first order at TommyJohn.com/Theo. That's right, save 25% at TommyJohn.com/THEO. See site for details.
But I mean, you do that. You go after the drug cartels. The other thing that people don't realize about the cartels, man, is one, we're talking about some very dark and dangerous people.
Yeah.
Like, this is not some guy who's like dealing, selling joints on a college campus. These are like, they're doing sex trafficking. They're getting 11, 10-year-old girls in sex trade.
Yeah, they're like
very evil people.
Dictator type of
just absolutely vile. And it's like, why are we making it easier for this like massive criminal organizations to get richer and richer and richer? Like, we should be trying to make them poor, and I mean, help people who actually need it.
Well, it's obviously one of the biggest. Right, it's like if there were an enemy that were killing. If there were somebody shooting into your country every day and killing people, at a certain point you go over there or do something to say, hey,
that's right.
You're not going to be. We're not going to let you do this anymore.
Yeah,
that's basically what's happening.
That's right. I mean, can you imagine if Mexico sent gunmen across the border and killed 70,000 Americans a year? Because that's about what dies from fentanyl. We would be in a major war, right? What, we just absolutely would be the case. So the other thing that's crazy about this is these cartels, and you see this graphic up, it's pretty the cartels are going to start to destabilize the country of Mexico. Like, do you know this name Pablo Escobar?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, so like the Colombian cartels in the 70s were as powerful as like the Colombian government, right? It was a narco state. You don't want that to happen right at the American southern border, where the drug cartels have more power than the Mexican government.
Yeah.
That's just going to be chaotic. It's going to be basically a warlike atmosphere on our southern border. That's bad news.
Well, it's bad news, but it'd be great to figure out a way to shut it down. I mean, it just feels like, if that many people are dying each year, if it were actual people shooting, we would send people there in a heartbeat.
Right. I mean, and I think that's what we have to. I think not that we have to send people to Mexico, but I think that we actually have to have a military response at the southern border.
100%.
Because these are such vicious people, and I think local law enforcement, they're telling us they're overwhelmed by some of these guys. And we've got to be willing to send our best people, our best fighters to get control of the southern border. I think that's the most important issue confronting the country. Because look, I mean, how do you even measure the human cost of 70,000 people, many of them in the prime of their life?
And the ripple effect of it too. And
the orphans, the parents that are heartbroken. I mean, how many kids are, like, this is my story, right? That's why my grandmother raised me, is because my mom struggled with addiction. Luckily, my mom got clean. You've got hundreds of thousands of children raised by their grandparents or their aunts and uncles. Like, that is an unspeakable human tragedy, man.
Especially when
we could do so much better, and we're failing right now. And that's really one of the reasons why I'm here, one of the reasons why I'm running.
Yeah. What is it like growing up with an alcoholic mother? And no judgment against your mother. This is just to look at it, right?
Yeah, sure. I appreciate that.
Yeah. What is that like? Is it hard to make a connection with your mom? What are some of the side effects of that on a child?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think there's a you get very careful about who you allow yourself to get close to. But that's one big part of it. You're never quite sure whether you can trust the particular situation you're in, right? So it might seem like you're living in this house 3 months from now, and if I give somebody a address, back in the day, I still wrote letters and things like that. At least a lot more than today. If I give somebody my address, are they going to send me a letter? I'm not even going to live in this place anymore because we moved around.
Right.
But I think that I took away from it is even as a young kid, I sort of very neatly divided the world into like 3 categories of people, right? There were the helpless people, the victims, the people who needed to be helped.
Archangel making noise.
There were the bad guys who were preying on the victims, and then there were the strong people who sort of stood up for everybody else and stood up to the bad guys. That's like, that's overly simplistic. But definitely, I saw my mom growing up very much as this person who was kind of a victim and was being preyed on by bad people, right? And then the person who was sort of looking up for us and standing up for us, especially was my grandmother. And I think that attitude of, some people are just not as strong as we wish them to be, and bad people are going to prey on them. But it's kind of up to
Enemy on foot.
The person who can look out for people, who can protect people, and that's always what I wanted to be. That's one thing I think I took from it.
Were you able to be that for your mom, did you feel like?
Not always, certainly. I mean, when I was
it's a lot of responsibility for a kid.
When I was a teenager, man, I was definitely very, very selfish. I think I got pretty resentful just at the situations. Like,
Engaging
other people have more stability than I do. Other people, they've got nice cars. We don't have that. So there's definitely like a resentment that comes from it. But, I left high school and enlisted in the Marine Corps. Spent 4 years in the Marine Corps. I think that what that really did for me was just like gave me a cool perspective. And I probably went into the Marine Corps. I was pretty whiny, pissed off at my mom, all these other people because I didn't have the things that I thought I should have. And then eventually, there's me. Much better looking.
Oh, yeah. The Marines, dude, that was the original Ozempic.
Don't let up.
That's right.
That's Brozempic.
Oh, that is good. That is good.
That's right, you shithead. The CIA's nothing
When we come
without us.
prepared, they don't stand a chance.
Team deathmatch. Shoot to kill. We're not here to negotiate. Target the vehicle. The lead is ours. We've given up the lead.
Concussion grenade out!
Sending frag.
Tossing frag!
We've taken the lead. Stay on task.
They're done. Confirmed. Green line disrupted. Stay down.
Incoming grenade.
Using Archangel. Archangel prepping fire.
Troops in contact. You can't hide. Threat down.
They're right where we want them. Finish the job.
Mine.
All units prepare for exfil. This one's ours.
They never stood a bloody chance.
deathmatch. Pacify the AO, kill team.
Moving in.